and welcome to another day of Mission Yeshas. And in today's class, and today's day rather, your target was the chapter consideration. And basically, if I tell you about this chapter, consideration, we only have three things to do here. Consideration first. What is consideration? What are the rules relating to consideration? Then, suit by a third party. And last but not the least, we have no consideration, no contract. So these are basically the four topics, not four, but rather three topics to, in this unit that we have done. So that you must have studied. Now, before I go into this topic, we do a discussion, we do the questions. Listen, I've picked up all the questions. So, as I said, before I continue with the recording, I'm sorry, with the session, let me tell you something about tomorrow's target. So, tomorrow's target, by mistake, it's written only capacity to contract, right? So, it's not just capacity to contract. In tomorrow's target, we will be doing the next unit, that is unit 4. That is 2 days, right? So, we'll be covering it in 2 days. So, what I am targeting is that tomorrow you will cover minors agreement, you will cover coercion, you will cover undue influence, and you will cover fraud. The rest, that is misrepresentation, mistake, and unlawful object, agreements not expressly declared void, you will cover it the next day. So that is the whole idea of tomorrow and day after tomorrow's session. So I've just told you this because there was a problem that it was written capacity to contract. You don't make a mistake as to what it is talking about. So you will be covering these two things in tomorrow and day after tomorrow's session. Moving forward, let's start with what is consideration, technically known as quid pro quo. That is something in return. What are the rules? First rule says consideration must move at the desire of the promiser. But the second rule says consideration may move from promisee or any other person. Then the third rule says consideration may be past, present, or future. Present, which is going on, future, which will be done. Past is act is done at the request, and after the act is done, the other person promises to compensate. Then consideration may be executed or executory. Executory is an act already done. Executory is an act yet to be done. That is, when I have performed, from me it's executed. Please, not just referring to the word executed from contract sense, but just an English word. Whereas executory is yet to be done. So if you have not performed, for you the consideration is executed. Then consideration must be present. However, there is no rule which says that it must be adequate. So there is no requirement of adequacy of consideration. And the next point says consideration, if I'm already obligated to do something and I'm paid consideration for that, it's not valid. But if I do something beyond and I'm paid consideration for that, then that extra is valid. And the last rule says consideration must not be unlawful, illegal, or against public policy. Then the general rule is third party cannot sue. लेकिन लॉ में क्या होता है लोचा. So there are cases where a third party can sue if you are a beneficiary of a trust or a trust agreement, or if you are a beneficiary of a marriage or a family settlement. For a marriage or family settlement, it should be in writing. If the rights of a contract are assigned to you, where a third party acknowledges to be liable to you, or in case of covenants running with the land, when the purchaser purchases the land knowing it is subject to conditions, he is bound by the conditions. And in case of contracts entered by the agent on behalf of the principal, even though the principal is not a party to the contract, he can still enforce the contract. Then the next topic, generally a contract without consideration is void, but there are certain cases where it's valid. First is natural love and affection. When it is out of love and affection, if it is written and registered, it's valid. Then the next one is compensation for past voluntary service, where I've already done the work for you and after the work is done, I promise to pay. Then the next one is time bar debt. A written promise to pay a time bar debt is a valid contract. Then the next one is completed gifts. Promise to gift is not enforceable, but once the gift is given, it's a valid contract. Then the next one, charities and donation. A promise to give charity or donation is not enforceable, but but if on the basis of the promise the other person incurs liability, then it is enforceable by law. And the last one is bailment, that we will do in bailment. It may be gratuitous or non-gratuitous, and even if it is gratuitous, it's absolutely valid. Okay, so we are done with these rules. We have done everything. I've picked up a few questions, and most of the questions that I've picked up here is from the RTP, right? The questions are from the RTP, or the questions are the Jan paper. So I've tried to do those questions. The basic idea is if you have already written the exam and due to any reason you couldn't clear, not just law, any paper, then in that case, what mistakes you might have made, that was the purpose of taking up those questions so that you can identify your mistakes and you know where you need to work on. So that's another thing is the reason I write the question rather than just telling you what to write is, see, I can tell you, acha, ye provision likhna hai. I will tell you, okay, write this provision, write consideration may move from the promisee or any other person. Fine, I told you the provision, but when it still comes to writing, no, unless we practice that writing, you will never be able to write a smooth answer. So to get that smooth answer, writing practice is mandatory. And that's the whole purpose that I am not just telling you the provision, but I'm actually writing it. So we'll move on to the first question of the session. Mr. Das, a landowner, transferred his property to his daughter Geeta on the condition that she would pay 20,000 annually to her maternal uncle. So Mr. Das is transferring his property to his daughter with a condition. Mr. Gopal, Geeta accepted the property but later failed to pay the annuity. Failed to pay the annuity. So Das gave all his property to his daughter with a condition that she has to transfer a particular sum annually to her uncle. She agreed, but later she did not pay. Mr. Gopal sued Geeta for recovery. See here, they have not said anything that the daughter goes and promises the uncle. Nothing is given. Now Gopal sued Geeta for recovery. Can Gopal actually sue Geeta? Well, the contract was never there between the daughter and the uncle, but there was a contract between Mr. Das and the daughter where uncle was named as a beneficiary. Correct? And even though he was not party to the contract, it was made for his benefit, so the contract can be enforced. Geeta argued that since Gopal was not party to the agreement, he has no right to sue. So we are talking about privity of contract here, correct? Third party cannot sue. Gopal contended that the consideration has moved from Das on his behalf, and he was in. Now Gopal says that even though I have not, there is no contract between me and the daughter. Das had made a contract where he has given money on my behalf. He has paid consideration on my behalf. Whether Mr. Gopal can recover the annuity, can he recover the annuity? Yes, he can. So basically, the daughter had made a contract with Mr. Das that she would pay. So the property was given to her on this condition. So for this contract, she has already received consideration. Even though uncle had not paid any consideration, there is no contract between the daughter and the uncle. Still, Mr. Das had given consideration to the daughter, and the uncle is a beneficiary to this contract. Now, since uncle is a beneficiary to this contract, can he enforce this contract? Yes. What am I going to write here? Obviously, I have to write about privity of contract, and I have to write about promisee may, sorry, consideration may move from the promisee or any other person. Consideration may move from the promisee or any other. So these are the two things that I have to explain, connect to the case, right? So what will I write here? Ma'am, I don't remember section 2D. Section 2D is the definition of consideration. You don't remember, we will not write it. As per, so this is the RTP question. This question was asked in the May 26th RTP. As per the provisions of the Indian Contract Act 1872, consideration may move from the promisee or any other person. Said no, that there is a contract between the daughter and the uncle. In this case, if they would have said that, then I would have elaborated this point even more. Now, that was given, in fact, they are saying there is no contract. So I'm not elaborating this point. If that was given, I would have elaborated this point and I would have said that even if the third party gives, even if the third party cannot enforce the contract, the third party can give consideration. I would have explained all that. I will not explain because daughter and uncle, there is no contract. Okay. Now, a third party cannot enforce the contract, right? Only the parties can sue and be sued. Third party cannot sue. A third party cannot enforce the contract. Then next, however, if the third party is a beneficiary to a contract, he may enforce it even though he was not a party to the contract. I, if you remember, I had discussed this case also with you. Okay? In the case of Chennaiya versus Ramaya, where an agreement, when an agreement made between two parties is for the benefit of a third party, the third party can end the contract even if such party was not directly a part of the contract. Right? This is my provision. See, I forgot to ask you, did you finish your target? If you have finished your target, please comment Contract Act in the comment section below. I want to see that. I want to see the Josh. Where is the Josh? The problem with all of us is that when we start something new, first 2 days super Josh, and after that all the Josh is gone. I want your Josh to be as high on the last day as it was on the first day, right? If you've not completed, but you plan to complete it by the end of the day, again comment Contract Act in the comment section below. Like, I want to see that. Yes, if you have written, if you have studied, if you have practiced, if you're writing better answers, there should be even a like, right? Let me see those comments and likes there. So this is provision. Now you know what will happen if if anyone we are writing no in the exam, what will happen? We'll write one line and be like, okay, we are done. So this is the difference. We cannot write one line. We have to be very elaborate with it. We have to explain the points. You cannot just write one line and complete it. That's the reason we don't score well or we don't score as we expect. So examine whether Mr. Gopal, therefore, can recover the annuity even though he was not a party to the contract, he was a beneficiary of the. Right? So we are done. Moving on to the next question. Okay, this question was there in the Jan 26 paper. Bhuvika borrowed 4,75,000 from her relative mother on 5th April 2020 on interest at the rate of 1% per month for 5 years for running her cosmetic store. She was paying continuously installment and interest every month. But due to sudden introduction of nature care products, her product became obsolete. As a result, she was unable to pay monthly installment and interest from May 2021 onwards. The debt got time barred by Limitation Act. However, on account of persuasion of her relatives, Bhuvika promised in writing to pay the outstanding amount shortly within a few months. She agreed in, okay, first of all, the debt got time barred by the Limitation Act. So it's a time barred debt. However, on account of continuous persuasion of her relatives, Bhuvika promised in writing to pay the outstanding amount shortly within a few months. She agreed in writing. A promise to pay a time barred debt in writing is valid, right? Whether Madan can legally recover the debt from Bhumika. Yes, because it's a valid contract when the loan has already become time barred. Explain with reference to the provisions. If it was not in writing, he couldn't have recovered. Because it is in writing and it's a locha to no consideration, no contract, right? How am I supposed to write it? Now, one very important thing, if the question is for 2 marks, you can straight away go to the point. But generally, otherwise, whenever the point relates to a locha, always remember, please start the answer with the locha, with the rule, sorry, and then say that there is a locha. The general way of writing an answer which relates to a locha is please write the general principle first. Once you've written the general principle, then you talk about the locha. Okay. Now, guys, please, I want to see in the comment section your answer. Oh, I've already said the answer. No. Next question we will discuss. Before I even give the answer, your answers should be there in the comment section below. I want to see your answers in the comment section. What you think would be the answer. So, I will I will be writing as if the question is not for 2 marks because I want to show you the whole thing, right? Every contract must be supported by consideration. A contract without consideration is void. However, there are certain lochas, please. Can you relate to the lochas? Yes, if you can, go and write contract act in the comment section below. That was the first time we heard the word locha, right? However, there are certain exceptions to this rule. In case of a time barred debt where a debtor or his agent duly authorized by him give a written promise to pay a time barred debt. Such a contract is valid, right? Therefore, Madan can recover the loan amount from Bhuvika as a written promise to pay a time bar debt is valid. Okay? Chalo, now moving on to the next question. This answer will be coming from you guys. I'm waiting for the answer from you all. I'm not giving the answer unless you put it in the comment section below. Not just the answer, what provision will you be writing? Okay? Chaya and Abir are very good friends. On Chaya's birthday, Abir gifted an iPhone worth, wow, why don't I have such good friends? Hai na? Whether this gift is valid as per the provisions of the Indian Contract Act. So I want to see there are actually two questions. This is one, this is two. Both of these were there in the exam for 2 marks. I wanted to discuss this. This was there in the Jan 26 paper. Just wanted to discuss this, so I put it here. Amol promised to give a gold ring worth 1 lakh to her friend Chakori on her birthday. Whether the promise made by Amol is enforceable in law as per the provisions of the Indian Contract Act, what would be your answer if the relation between Amol and Chakori is of husband and wife? Promised to give a gold ring worth 1 lakh to her friend Chakori on her birthday. Okay. Whether promise made by Amol is enforceable in law, what would be your answer if the relation between Amol and Chakori is of husband and wife? Okay. So let us see what answers you give. Me coming to the question, good friend, the gift is already given. Gift. So is the gift valid? Yes. What provision will I write? Completed gift. Promise to give, not talked about a gift. This could be natural love and affection also, but you can write it as per gift also, both work. But because they have given, what would be your answer if the relation was of husband and wife? So because given this goes to natural love and affection. Yes. So let us start with the first one, first provision. As per the provision of Indian Contract Act 1872, I'll first obviously write contract must be supported. If it is 2 marks, we may not write. But even if it is 2 marks, there are certain luchas to the rule of no consideration, no contract, where a contract is valid even without consideration. Okay? So I'm just writing, if it was 2 marks, what would you write? There are certain no consideration, no contract, where a contract without consideration is valid. In case of completed gifts, a mere promise to give is not enforceable. But once the gift is given, it is valid in the eyes of, okay, what you say. It's 2 marks. I'll not go for 3 paragraphs. No, it's just 2 marks, na? So here 2 paragraphs are enough. Therefore, the gift by Abir to Chaya is valid as the gift was already, or the gift was already given. Now this one, it could be gift also, but because this part of the question is given, so we will stick natural love and affection. Now let's see. Amol promised to give her friend Chakori on her birthday. Natural love and affection says that there should be relationship. They are just friend. Friend means no relationship. Correct? Friend means what? No relationship. And when there is no relationship, it's not enforceable by law, right? Even in that case also, it is enforceable only when it is written and registered. What would the answer if it was husband and wife? If they were husband and wife, the contract would be enforceable if it was written and registered. That's it. So, same thing. Again, I'll write this. There are certain exceptions to the rule of, right? Or contract without consideration is void. If it's 3 marks, I'll first write the rule. And if it is 2 marks, I'll just directly write the locha. That I have to decide depending on the marks. Okay. So I'm not writing that because we have already written. The contract is enforceable even without consideration if right points in the points, the presentation really matters, right? Even without consideration if it is made out of love and affection. Second, it is made between parties who stand in a near relationship and contract is should be written and registered. I forgot. Okay. Therefore, promise made by a mole is not enforceable by law as there is no relationship between a mole and Chakori. In case a mole and Chakori were husband and wife, the contract could be enforced by law only if it was written and registered. Okay. So with this, we are done with this. I had left one part here. And also, oh, we have another question. We have another question. We'll discuss this. I thought that was it. Mr. A was running an orphanage. His friend Mr. S, a philanthropist, agreed to donate. They have told donation. Donation is no consideration. 2 lakh for the treatment of a child who was suffering from cancer. On emergency, Mr. A incurred 1.5 lakh on treatment of the child. Now, Mr. S refused to pay. Whether A can claim 1.5 from Mr. S? Can he claim? We already saw its donation. Promise to donate is not enforceable by law. But here they have incurred a liability. Can they recover? Yes. So, again, you have to write the same thing about a contract without consideration is void. Every contract must be supported by consideration. However, there are certain lochas. Okay, same points. I'm not writing that again. So, whether Mr. A can claim, therefore, Mr. A can claim 1.5 lakh from Mr. S as he had spent that for the treatment of the child. I hope with this it's clear to all of you. Don't forget tomorrow's target. Revise well, study well, come back tomorrow. Don't leave now because Chetan sir is going to continue with your QA session. Till then, Yashashvi Bhav.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you're doing great, right? So, how is it going, guys? Are you preparing well? Is Mission Yeshas helping you all, right? If it is helping, please do type Yeshas in comment section. Yeshas. Yeshas means success, right? I want, and in fact, we want to see your success, guys, right? Well, the target for today's session given was sequence and series, that is chapter number 6. Hope you have revised and come. If you have revised and come, please do type sequence and series in the comment section. Quickly, guys. Quickly. Done? Okay. So let's quickly start with the concepts first, then we will solve the questions. Guys, there are two concepts in the sequence and series, that is arithmetic progression and geometric progression. What is arithmetic progression? A sequence in which there is a common difference is said to be what? Arithmetic progression. And general form of an AP is A plus D, A plus 2D, and so on till A plus N minus 1 into D. A is the first term, D is the common difference, and N is the number of terms. Common difference, how do you compute? T2 minus T1 should be equal to T3 minus T2, and so on. Nth term, also called as the last term, represented by L, given by A plus N minus 1 into D. If you know this last term, you can compute any term you want. If you want 15th term, let's say it is A plus 15 minus 1 is 14D. Always the coefficient of D is 1 less than required term. Alright. Then we have sum of n terms in AP. Sum of n terms in AP, there are two formulas. Whenever you are given A, n and also d, you can use this formula n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d to find the sum of n terms. When you are given with first term, last term, then you can use this formula to find sum of n terms, n by 2 into a plus l. Guys, shortcut to find n, to find out n when you are given with a, l and the common difference is what? L minus a by d plus 1. This will reduce the amount of time consumed for doing the calculation. So whenever a, l, d are given, if you want to find out the number of terms in the sequence, it is L minus a by d, add 1 to it. Then guys, this is a typical question asked in the exam. To find r at the term, given mth term and nth term of an AP, it's always m plus n minus r. They may even ask the question in terms of PQR also. The answer will be P plus Q minus r. Guys, sometimes instead of r at the term, they may ask you m plus nth term. Okay, so if they give you mth term, they ask m plus nth term. M plus nth term will be 0. M plus nth term will be 0. R at the term is m plus n minus r, but m plus nth term will be 0. How? Because m plus n as it is, it remains, but r being m plus n here, so m plus n minus m plus n minus m plus n, they get cancelled, you get 0. Remember, if they ask r at the term, it is m plus n minus r. If they ask m plus nth term itself, it is 0. Next thing, sum of n terms when the middle term is given, guys. Whenever the middle term of an AP is given, sum of n terms is middle term into n. So how do you figure out it's a middle term? If there are 15 terms, middle term is 15 plus 1, that is 8th term. Whenever 8th term is given, sum of first 15 term is asked. So middle term into n you do, you get the sum of n terms. Guys, whenever they give you sum of two terms equidistant in the middle term, whenever they give you sum of two terms equidistant in the middle term, then the middle term in that case is sum of the two terms equidistant, the middle term divided by 2. Please understand, the middle term is sum of the two terms equidistant from the middle term divided by 2 will be the middle term. Just multiply that with n, you get the sum of n terms. Then to find nth term, when sum of n terms in terms of n is given, so they'll give you Sn is equal to 5n square plus 6n, something like this. They'll ask you to find either first term or second term or third term or fifth term or 10th term. What is first term? Same as S1. First term is same as S1. Second term, if you want, it is not just S2, it is S2 minus S1. If you are asked to find sixth term, it is not S6 alone, S6 minus S5. If you are asked to find T20, it is S20 minus S9. So how do you find S2? Let's say, for example, if you want to find S2, put n is equal to 2 in the Sn equation. you get S2. S10, S20, if you want to find, put n is equal to 20 in the Sn equation, you get S20 and so on. Have you all understood? Okay, to find n terms, to find sum of n terms when nth term is given in terms of n. Whenever nth term, let's say Tn is equal to 5n plus 6. Okay, Tn is given in terms of n. They ask you to find out what sum of n terms. What you do, don't find sum of n terms, just find sum of two terms by putting n is equal to uh, put n is equal to 1 to find t1, put n is equal to 2 to find T2. Okay, so find T1 and T2. So S2 you find out by adding T1 and T2, you get sum of two terms. Don't find sum of n terms, find sum of two terms. Find out T1. How do you find out T1? Put n is equal to 1 here. Find out T2. Put n is equal to 2 here. Take the sum of T1 and T2, that is S2. Right? Now put n is equal to 2 in the option. Whichever option satisfies S2, that's the right answer. Have you understood? So whenever they give you Tn in terms of n, they ask you to find sum of n terms. You are not finding sum of n terms, rather you are finding sum of just two terms and put n is equal to, how do you find T1? Put n is equal to 1 in Tn. How do you find T2? Put n is equal to 2 in T2. Have you understood? Moving on. To insert n AMs between two terms, if they give you just two terms, they ask you to find n arithmetic means. The n arithmetic means have to be taken as a plus d, a plus 2d, and so on till a plus n minus 1 into d. And the two terms given would be taken as a minus d and a plus n d. So please do remember, the n arithmetic means to be inserted between the two given terms should be taken as a plus d, a plus 2d, and so on till a plus n minus 1 into d. And the two given terms are to be marked as a minus d and a plus nd. And then guys, to find the common difference and first term when the two particular terms in AP are given, guys, this shortcut I had given you where in a simple interest, the type 5 and two amounts in terms of rupees are given, you can use this shortcut. Yes or no? There it is modulus. Here there won't be modulus, it's just a bracket. And please do remember, whatever a value you get, reverse the sign. Reverse the sign for a. Reverse the sign for a. That means if you get positive, take it as negative. If you get negative, take it as positive. Because this a2 minus a1 divided by t2, t2 by t1 represents what? D, common difference. Alright, what is a2 here? The highest term. A1 is the least term. T1 is coefficient of d in the least term. T2 is the coefficient of d in the highest term. Alright, we'll be solving questions based on this, don't worry. Guys, moving on. Geometric progression. What is geometric progression? A sequence in which there is a common ratio. So, or common multiplier. What is the general form of a GP? AR square, AR cube, and so on till AR power n minus 1, where n is the number of terms, A is the first term, R is a common ratio given by T2 by T1 equal to T3 by T2, and so on. Nth term of a GP is nothing but the last term, which is AR power n minus 1. If you want to find T20, that is a into r power 19. Have you understood? Moving on to the sum of n terms in GP. Guys, when r is greater than 1, it is a into r power n minus 1 divided by r minus 1. When r is less than 1, it is a into 1 minus r power n divided by 1 minus r. When r equal to 1, the sum is not defined. The next thing is sum of infinite terms in GP. Very, very important, very, very commonly asked question. It is S infinity is equal to a divided by 1 minus r for r less than 1. For r greater than 1, it is not defined. Alright, sum of infinite terms with a combination of AP as well as GP. When you have a combo of AP, GP, the numerators is AP and the denominator form a GP, then it is this formula. The first term is same as S infinity of a GP. Second term you have to remember dr divided by 1 minus r the whole square. Then to find the product of n terms using the middle term of a GP, it is, please understand, when they give you middle term of an AP, they'll ask you to find the sum of n terms, which is middle term into n. When they give you middle term of a GP, they'll ask you to find the product of n terms. In that case, it is middle term power n. There it is middle term into n to find the sum. Here in GP, it's a middle term power n is the product of n observations in GP. Have you understood? And some important note points before we start solving the question. Guys, For three terms to be in AP, the condition is middle term is B, which is A plus C divided by 2, and we let the three numbers as 1, 2, 3. Don't let as A, B, C, take them as 1, 2, 3. For three terms A, B, C to be in GP, the middle term B should be root of A into C, and let the numbers A, B, C as 2, 4, 8. These are the magical numbers that you have to plug in. You can solve the questions faster if you remember these numbers. Next, for three numbers A, B, C to be in HP, the middle term B should be 2AC divided by A plus C. And for three numbers ABC to be in HP, and the three numbers that we take for ABC are 6, 8, 12 or 12, 8, 6. Please do remember these magical numbers. If A square, B square, C square are in AP, then ABC values that you are going to plug in are 157. If A square, B square, C square are in AP, plug in the values of ABC as what? 157. As these numbers are the magical numbers, they help you solve the questions faster. Have you all understood? That's it, guys, when it comes to the concepts of AP and GP. Now let us quickly start solving the questions, right? Yeah, guys, let us solve the questions on sequence and series. The first question is sum of the first n terms of an AP, that is Sn, which is given as a 3n square plus 5n. This is sum of n terms given in terms of what? N. The series is what, guys? The series means you need to find the first term, second term. If you find first and second, that's more than sufficient because you'll get to know the difference. So what is T1? Same as S1, put n is equal to 1 here. 3 into 1 square is 3 only, 5 into 1 is 5, so it is 8. So first term is 8. Find out second term, it is S2 minus S1. If I want to find out S2, what do I do? In Sn, put n is equal to 2. 2 square is 4, 4 3s are 12, 5 2s are 10. 12 plus 10 is 12 plus 10 is 22. That is S2 minus S1 already we have, it is 8. 22 minus 8 is 14. So I got first term, I got second term. Which sequence has got 8, 14? 8, 14, you find it in option A, even in option D. But the right answer, 8 and 14, what's the difference? 6. So common difference is basically 6. So 14 plus 6 is 20, 20 plus 6 is 26. So option A forms an AP. It's not option D. Have you all understood? Guys, moving on to the next question. The largest value for n for which the sum is less than 0.998, less than 0.998. Guys, there is, what is the largest value over here? 9. Will 9 satisfies this or not? We will have to check. So n is equal to 9 we are hitting. So since it is a GP, what is the first term? First term A is equal to 1 by 2, which is 0.5. R value is also 1 by 2, which is 0.5. Correct? 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 is only 1 by 4. 1 by 4 into 1 by 2 is only 1 by 8. So R value is 0.5, A value is 0.5. As R value is clearly less than 1, what is Sn formula for a GP? A into 1 minus R power n divided by 1 minus R. So this sum should be less than 0.998. As I am hitting n is equal to 9. Okay. If I hit n is equal to 9, how do I solve this expression, guys? By first of all finding the value of R power n. So R is what? R is 0.5, press into, for power 9 I have to press equal to 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Done. Then make it negative by pressing plus or minus, right? Then add 1 plus 1 divided by, is 1 minus 0.5 is what? 0.5 only. So divided by 0.5 into A. What is A? 0.5 only. That gives you 0.99804. Guys, 0.99804 is just more than 0.998. It should be less than 0.998. So it is definitely not 9. Now let us put n is equal to, this is for n is equal to 9. Let us now put n is equal to 8. What will happen? We will see. For n is equal to 8. Guys, what do I have to do? In place of R, I have to plug in R is equal to 0.5. Type 0.5, press into. For n is equal to 8, I have to press equal to 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then make it negative, plus or minus. Add 1 plus 1 divided by 1 minus zero point 0.5 is 0.5 into A value is 0.5. The result is 0. Sn is 0.9960, clearly less than 0.998. Therefore, the largest value of n for which the sum is less than this is option C, 8. Have you all understood? Guys, moving on to the next question. Nth term of arithmetic progression If nth term of this progression is same as nth term of this progression, then what is n? Guys, nth term formula is a plus n minus 1 into d. What is a value here? 9 plus n minus 1 into what is the common difference here? 7 minus 9 is minus 2. Correct? 5 minus 7 is minus 2. Common difference is minus 2. This nth term is same as the nth term of this sequence as well. What is the a value in this sequence? 15 is the a value plus n minus 1 into what is the d value? 12 minus 15 is minus 3. Correct? So common difference is minus 3. Solve it. A 9 plus minus 2 into n is minus 9 minus 2n, minus 2 into minus 1 is plus 2. 15 plus minus 3 into n is, it's not plus, it's minus 3n, and minus into minus is plus, 3 ones are 3. Now what you basically do is take this minus 3n, this side becomes plus 3n, 3n minus 2n is n. Take everything else on the other side. 15 plus 3 is 18, 9 plus 2 is 11, 18 minus 11 is 7. So n is equal to 7. Option A is the right answer. Have you all understood? Clear, everybody? Guys, the next question, a very important, very often they have asked such questions. In geometric progression, the second term is 12. What is it? Second term is 12, and the sixth term is 192. Guys, whenever two particular terms in GP is given, the shortcut for such questions is r power n2 minus n1 is equal to a2 by a1. This is the shortcut for whenever two terms in GP is given. Okay, so r power, what is n2? It is the 6, and what is n1? It is second means 2. So 6 minus 2 is 4, r power 4 it is. Now a2 by a1, so highest term is a2 and the least term is a1. So 192 divided by 12, how much it is? 16. So r power 4 is 16. Tell me what power 4 is 16? 2 power 4, right? So r value is 2. Now plug in this r value over in the least term. Second term is what? Ar is equal to what they have given? 12. So since r is equal to 2, take r on the other side. 12 by 2 it becomes, so a is equal to what? 6. Now finally what we are asked to find is the 11th term. 11th term is ar power 10. Take your calculator. R is 2, type 2, press into, power 10 means equal to 9 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 into what is a? 6. That fetches you 6144. Option D is the right answer. Guys, if you want to solve a similar question, please go to this question. Question number 8. All right, same kind of a question it is. So fifth term is given, eighth term is given, and you're asked to find 11th term, which is nothing but ar power 10 only. Now what is the shortcut? R power n2 minus n1 is equal to a2 by a1. What is r power n2 minus n1? N2 minus n1 is 8 minus 5, which is 3. A2 by a1, 729 by 27 is 27 only. R cube is 27. What cube is 27? 3 cubes. So R is equal to 3. Now I have to plug in this R value in first term, that is fifth term, which is AR power 4 is equal to 27. A is equal to 27 divided by R power 4. R is 3. 3 power 4 is 81. So A value is 1 by 3. Finally, AR power 10 is what I should do. A is 1 by 3. R is 3 power 10. Guys, ultimately, don't you think it is 3 power 9? Type 3 in the calculator, press into, for power 9, it is equal to 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is 19,683. Option D is the right answer. Have you all understood? Is it clear, everybody? Right. Guys, let's move on to the next question. Look at this question number 5. The first and the last term of arithmetic progression are 5 and 905. This is first term A. This is the last term 905. The sum of the terms is also given as 45,955. The number of terms. They are asking us to find the value of n, and Sn is given off. It's what connects Sn, first term, last term, and n? It is Sn is equal to n by 2 into a plus l. The only unknown over here is a n. Leaving out this n, you solve a plus l by 2. What is a? 5 plus L is 905 divided by 2, it is 465. Take it to the other side. How do I take it to the other side? Divide, equal, and then multiply with Sn. What is Sn? 45, 955, and the result is how much? So once again, a plus L, it's 5 plus 905 divided by 2, and then take it to the other side, divide, equal, and then multiply with Sn. What is Sn? 45,955. and the result is 100.999. That means 111. Option C is the right answer. Guys, moving on to the next question. Very, very important. Very often they have asked such questions. The sum of first eight terms of a GP, that means S8, that means it is equal to 5 times, that is 5 into the sum of the first four terms, that means S4. Guys, they're asking us to find the common ratio. If you look at the options, all R values are more than 1. Clearly, root 2, root 3, 4 and 2 and all are greater than 1. So I can use which formula? A into R power n minus 1 divided by R minus 1. Guys, for both LHS and RHS, what gets cancelled? A and R minus 1 will get cancelled because the same GP it is. A and R minus 1 will get cancelled. So on the LHS, it is R power 8 minus 1 remaining. On the RHS, 5 into R power 4 minus 1 will be remaining, because A and R minus 1 will get cancelled because that is the SN on both the side we have. A and R minus 1 will get cancelled. So guys, where is R? R is in the option. Let me hit option A. Option A is root 2. Correct? Type 2, press the root. Done? So root 2 value is 1.4142. Now press into. Power 8 is there. How many times have to press equal? 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then do what? Minus 1. So how much it is? 14.999, that means it is equal to 15. Now type R power 4 minus 1. R is type 2, press the root. So root 2 I got. Press into for power 4 equal to 3 times. 1, 2, 3, then minus 1. Into what? 5. Into 5. That fetches you again 14.999, that means 15. So R value is root 2. Option A is correct. Guys, if there had been an option plus or minus root 2, then plus root 2 minus root 2 both will satisfy, because minus root 2 whole power plus 8 will give you same as plus root 2 whole power 8. Minus root 2 whole power 4 will give you same as root 2 power 4 as well, because even power means negative or positive will give you positive only. So answer would have been plus or minus root 2 if there had been an option plus or minus root 2. Only root 2 is there. You can take that as the answer. Have you all understood? Guys, moving on to the next question. Seventh one, guys, pth term of an AP is given, qth term of an AP is given, and they're asking us to find p plus qth term. Already we have discussed, but in terms of m and r, what is it? 0. Very good. Option A is the right answer. Eighth one already we have done. Look at the ninth question now. How many numbers between 74 and 25,556 which are divisible by 5? Guys, numbers divisible by 5, 74 is definitely not divisible. So 75 is the first number, then 80, 85 and so on. What is the number just before 25,556 which is exactly divisible by 5? It is 25,555. This is a sequence. Now, what is it we need to find? How many numbers? That means we need to find n. Guys, I know a value, I know l value, and I know the common difference is how much? 5. What's the shortcut to find n? L minus a by d plus 1. What is L? L is 25,555 minus a is 75 divided by d is 5 plus 1. It is 5097. Option B is the right answer. Have you all understood? Guys, question number 10. They have given two terms of an AP, two particular terms in an AP. So what's the shortcut to find A? A2 minus A1 by T2 minus T1 into T1 minus A1. Guys, this term we have to reverse the sign. Hope you remember. So what is A1 here? The least term A1 is 35 and the highest term A2 is 75. Now what is T1? T1 is not 9. It is coefficient of D in the ninth term is 8. T2 is not 19. It's the coefficient of D in the 19th term is 18. Have you understood? Take your calculator. A2 minus A1. Guys, what is A2 minus A1? A2 minus A1 is 75 minus 35. 75 minus 35 divided by T2 minus T1. 18 minus 8 is 10. Store it by pressing M plus, because this is nothing but the common difference D, guys. We need it for finding out 20th term. Alright, store it by pressing M plus into T1 is how much? T1 is 8 minus A1 is how much? 35. Press equal. You get minus 3. I said what? Reverse the sign for A, which becomes plus 3. We have to reverse the sign for A. Whatever you get, if you get plus 3, take it as minus 3. If you get minus 3, take it as what? Plus 3. Have you all understood? Since we got minus 3, we have to take it as plus 3. Now, we are asked to find 20th term, that is A plus 19D. So, So where is D? It's in the memory. How do you recall? By pressing MRC. If you press MRC, your calculator will display 4. That's a common difference. Into 19 plus A. What is A? 3. That fetches you 79. Option B is the right answer. Have you all understood? Very good. Let's moving on to the next question. What is it? Fourth term, seventh term, and 10th term of geometric progression are P, Q, and R respectively. Yes, don't you think the seventh term is exactly in between fourth and 10th? You see, there are two terms in between fourth and seventh, two terms in between seventh and 10th. That means seventh is the middle term for fourth and 10th. Yes or no? So seventh term is given to be Q, and this is P, and this is R. So Q is at equidistant from P and R. So it's a geometric mean. Q is nothing but the geometric mean of P and R. Yes or no? If they're in GP, Q being the middle term, obviously it's a geometric mean of the extreme terms. Yes or no? So Q square is going to be P into R. Option C is the right answer. Everybody understood? Guys, moving on to the next question. In geometric progression, the third term and sixth terms are respectively 1 and minus 1 by 8. So this, what is 1? It is the third term, and this is the sixth term. The first term and the common difference are, where are first term and the common difference? They are in the options. You can do option hitting. Which option is correct? Please work it out. Let's see which option is correct. And please mention your answer in option, in the comment box, comment section, stating that question number 12 and option. Which option is yours? We'll see. Okay, let me now check. Option C, if I hit, so this becomes the first term, this becomes the common difference. What's the third term? AR square. Minus 1 by 2 whole square is plus 1 by 4. A being 4. 4 into 1 by 4 is 1. So it is first condition is satisfied. Then sixth term is AR power 5. A being 4. R is minus 1 by 2 whole power 5 is minus 1 by 32, because 2 power 5 is 32. Correct? And since the power is odd number, so it remains a negative. So 4 ones are 4 eights are, so minus 1 by 8. So sixth term is minus 1 by 8 satisfied. So option C is the right answer. Have you all understood? Guys, I want you to solve question number 15. The sum of the three numbers in geometric progression is 28. So you'll see the importance of those magical numbers. They're saying that three numbers in GP. Okay, what are the three numbers that you will take for GP? 2, 4 and 8 are the three numbers. The magical numbers for GP are 2, 4, 8. But they said the sum is 28. If I take the sum of 2, 4, 8, what do I get? 2 plus 4 plus 8, which is 14. But required sum is 28. See, what is making me the what is making the sum as 28? So the sum, what is actually stopping the sum to be 28? It is the least sum. Because of the least term. Because of the least term, you are not able to achieve the sum, required sum, which is 28. So with the first term as 2, you are going to get the sum as 14, which is lesser than the least term. So what do I do basically? I leave out 2 and get one term to the right of 8. So what do I do? 4, 8 and next term is 16, because the common ratio is 2. So 4, 8 and 16 are the three terms. If I take the sum of these three terms now, 4 plus 8 plus 16, that fetches me 28, so which is the required sum. But what are the, see, the three numbers could be 4, 8, 16, or it could be 16, 8, 4 as well. Correct? 4, 8, 16 or 16, 8, 4, 16, 8, 4. All these numbers, these numbers or these numbers both are in GP. There is a common ratio. In the first case, it is 2. In the second case, it is 1 by 2. Both are in GP only. Now, what have they said? 7, 2 and 1 are subtracted from first, second and the third number. So, it can't be the first case. It has to be the second case only, because the first number is only the greater number. So, minus 7, minus 2, minus 1. On subtracting those numbers from the three numbers, what do you get? 9, 6, 3. It forms what they have said. Resulting numbers are in arithmetic progression. Don't you see that 9, 6, 3 are forming AP? Yes, definitely they are in AP only. The question is, what is the sum of the squares of original numbers? Original numbers are 16, 8 and 4. We are asked to find the sum of their squares. So 16 square plus 8 square plus 4 square. So take your calculator, type 16, press into, press equal for squaring, m plus for storing. Type 8 into equal for squaring, m plus for storing. Type 4 into equal for squaring, m plus for storing, MRC. The result is 336. So option D is the right answer. Have you all understood? As I want you to solve this question. Look at this. B plus C minus A divided by A, C plus A minus B divided by B, A plus B minus C divided by C are in AP. Okay, what are A, B, C in? So if you look at A, B, C here, they are in denominators. They are in denominators. If you see here, A, B, C are in numerators. So if A, B, C are in denominator, it forms an AP. A, B, C, if they go to the numerator, it forms what? HP, right? They form HP. If you want to cross check, if I mean, definitely you got to know they are in HP, because you can see A, B, and the C are in denominators. If they form an AP, then ABC, 1 by A, 1 by B, 1 by C, they form an AP. Obviously, ABC will form HP. To confirm, guys, if they ABC are in HP, what do you take ABC as? 6, 8, 12. These are the magical numbers for three numbers in HP, correct now? So what you do, you plug in the values B plus C minus A by A, C plus A minus B by B, A plus B minus C by C. So plug in those values and check whether there is a common difference and whether these three numbers forms an AP or not. If they form an AP, definitely these three numbers are in HP only. Now let us see B plus C. Guys, what is B plus C? 6 plus 8 is 20, minus A is 6, that is 14, and A value is 6. C plus A. C plus A is 6 plus 12 is 18, minus B is 8, divided by what is B? Again 8. A plus B. 6 plus 8 is 14, minus C 2, divided by C, which is 12. So whether these three numbers are in AP or not. So if you want to check, what you do, you take the common difference, right? This minus this and this minus this should be equal. Guys, first of all, what is this number? Second term, 10 by 8. Type 10 by 8. It's positive, m plus, then t1 should be negative, so 14 by 6, m minus mrc. We are taking t2 minus t1, so which is minus 1.08, that is t2 minus t1, which is equal to, it should be t3 minus t2 also, right? T3 minus t2. What is t3? This is my t3. Take your calculator, 2 by 12. It's a positive value, so m plus. Then t2 is 10 by 8. T2 becomes negative, so m minus mrc, even that fetches me minus 1.0833. So both are equal, therefore they are in AP only. They are in AP. Which three numbers? The given three numbers are in AP. Obviously ABC are in HP. Have you all understood? Let's moving on to the next question. Question is, sum of the series 1 by 2, 1 by 3 square, 1 by 2 cube, 1 by 3 power 4 up to infinity. Guys, is it completely a single GP? No, because you have a combo of 1 by 2s and 1 by 3s. So what you do, you take separation of all 1 by 2 terms and separation of all 1 by 3 terms. If I do so, it's 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 cube and so on up to infinity, and then 1 by 3 square plus 1 by 3 power 4 and so on up to infinity. So both are infinite GPs only. Look at the first GP. A value is 1 by 2, which is 0.5. R value is 1 by 2 square, which is 0.25. 1 by 2 square is 1 by 4. 1 by 4 is 0.25. Look at this. A value is 1 by 9. Let me write 1 by 9 only. Or if you want to keep A value, R value as in terms of fraction, here A value becomes 1 by 2, R value becomes 1 by 4. Here A value becomes 1 by 9, R value 1 by 3 square, which is 1 by 9. Now, S infinity formula is what? A divided by 1 minus R. Guys, I have to use memory to solve for A by 1 minus R for this and A by 1 minus R for this. First of all, 1 minus R I shall solve for the denominator. So first of all, what is R for the denominator? First term, R is 1 divided by 4. Make R negative. How do I do it? Plus or minus. Then add 1 plus 1. Take it up. How do I take it up? Divide equal. Then multiply. Press into. What is A? 1 divided by 2. Now store it by pressing M plus. Next value, again 1 minus R, right? So first of all, type the R value, which is 1 divided by 9. R is negative, plus or minus, add 1 plus 1, take it up. How do I take it up? Divide equal into A. What is A value? 1 divided by 9. Again store it by pressing M plus, then MRC. How much do you get? 0.7916. The sum of these two is 0.7916. So you have two GPs, you have to use the same formula. Uh, Solve for first GP, M plus, solve for second GP, M plus MRC, you get 0.7916. Which option gives you 0.7916? 25 by 24, definitely more than 1, no. 19 by 24, you check, 19 by 24 fetches you the same answer, 0.7916. Have you all understood? Clear, everybody? Say yes or no? Guys, I want you to solve this question number 39 here. Pth term, qth term, rth term of a GP are ABC respectively. They're asking us to find q minus r into log A, r minus p into log B, plus p minus r into log C. Don't you see q minus r minus p minus q are in cyclic order? If they're in cyclic order, the result of that cyclic terms will become 0. If they are in the power, something power 0 is 1. But if they're not in the power, the result of that will become what? 0. Result of that will become what? 0. But still, if you want me to solve this question, guys, let us take p is equal to 1, q is equal to 2, and r is equal to 3. First term, second term, third term are a, b, c respectively. They are said GP. Guys, if they are in GP, what are a, b, c? You will take it as 2, 4, 8. So a, b, c values are 2, 4, 8. Since p at the term, q at the term, and r at the term, first, second, and third, so p values, p, q, r values are 1, 2, 3. Now just plug in those values. Q minus r, guys. Q minus r, q is 2, r is 3, so q minus r is minus 1 into log, what is a value? 2 plus r minus p, guys, r is what? 3 minus p is what? 1, 3 minus 1 is 2 into log what? B value is 4. Guys, 4 is being not a prime number. How do I write 4? 2 square, correct? Plus, what is p minus q? P is 1, q is 2, 1 minus 2 is minus 1 into log c. C value is 8. 8 is not a prime number. How do I write? 2 cube. Is it clear? Now this is minus log 2 and 2 comes out as a multiplier. 2 2s are 4 log 2 it is. 3 comes out as a multiplier. 3 into minus 1 is minus 3 log 2. Guys, don't you think minus log 2 minus 3 log 2 is minus 4 log 2? Minus 4 log 2 plus 4 log 2, they cancel and you get a 0. Option A is the right answer. Let's moving on to the next question. A, B, C, D are in GP. What do you take the numbers A, B, C, D? 2, 4, 8 and then 16. You know three numbers, 2, 4, 8. The next number is 16 you have to take. Now B minus C the whole square. Take your calculator. What is B here? B is 4 minus what is C? C is 8 into equal. So how much it is? 16. M plus. So do the calculation once again. B minus C. What is B? 4 minus C is 8 into equal M plus for storing. It's a positive value. Alright. Now C minus A. What is C? C is 8 minus what is A? A is 2 into equal for squaring, M plus for storing. Done. Now D minus B. What is D? 16 minus what is B? 4. How do I square? Into equal. Then M plus. Then MRC. How much it is? 196. Whichever option gives you 196, that's the right answer. If I put option A minus B, guys, A is 2 and B is 4. 2 minus 4 is minus 2 whole square is 4 only. It cannot be option A. Option B, you see, 2 minus 16. 2 minus 16 into equal. It is 196. So therefore, option B is the right answer. Have you all understood? Everybody? Moving on to the next question, the sum of n terms of the series 1, 11, 111 and so on. Guys, whenever they ask sum of n terms, don't find sum of n terms, just find sum of two terms. S2 is the first two terms, that is 1 plus 11, which is 12. So put n is equal to 2 in the options, whichever option satisfies this sum 12, that's the right answer. Let me plug in the first option and see. Guys, within the, in the first option, what I have to solve? 10 power n plus 1. Type 10, press into, n plus 1 becomes what? 2 plus 1, 3. So 10 power 3 if I want to do, type 10, press into, equal to twice. Then m plus. Then 9 into what? 2 m minus. Then type 10, it's a negative value, m minus MRC. Then divided by what? 81. And the result is 12, therefore option A. I repeat the calculation once again. Look at this, guys. It is 1 by 81, 10 power n plus 1 minus 9n minus 10. So how do you solve this? By putting n is equal to 2. 10 power 2 plus 1 is 3. Type 10, press into, equal to twice for power 3. M plus to store it. 9 into 2 m minus its negatives to store it, then type 10 m minus to store it, then mrc 792 you get, and outside you have to just divide 81, you get 12. So therefore option A itself is the required answer. Have you all understood? Guys, I want you to solve the next question. You see here, if this is actually Sn is equal to n square p, Sm is equal to n square p, then what is Sp equal to? Yes, if you observe Sn is equal to n square p and Sm is equal to m square p, what is changing? If the suffix is n, it becomes n square. If the suffix is m, it becomes m square. But the common multiplier is being what? P only. If the suffix is p, it is p square into the common multiplier is the same thing carries here. P square into p is what? P cube. Have you understood? So suffix is n, so n square into p. Suffix is m, m square into p. Suffix is p, so it's p square into p, which is p cube. Option B is the right answer. Guys, I want you to solve this 53rd question. The question is 1 by b plus c, 1 by c plus a, 1 by a plus b are in AP. Then a square, b square, c square are in what? Assuming a square, b square, c square are in AP. For a square, b square, c square to be in AP, ABC should be in what? ABC values are what? 1, 5, 7. If ABC are 1, 5, 7, then a square, b square, c square are in AP. So let's say option A we are taking. Okay. If ABC are in AP, then these values should also be in AP. Let us check whether they are in AP or not by plugging in these values. 1 by, what is B plus C? 5 plus 7 is 12. What is 1 by C plus A? C plus A is 8. 1 by A plus B? A plus B is 6. Guys, 12, 8, 6. You know, 12, 8, 6 are in HP. They definitely the reciprocal are in AP. What have they given? AP only. That means A square, B square, C square are in AP as well. Have you understood? So reverse technique we have followed. So A square, B square, C square are in what they are asking. We are assuming that they are in AP. If they are in AP, the values of ABC are 157. Plug in those values over here and see whether they are in AP or not. You know, 12, 8, 6 are in HP. Definitely the reciprocals are in AP. Have you understood? There's one last question for the day. The sum of n terms of the series, guys, sum of n terms of the series, whenever they ask, don't find sum of n terms, rather you find sum of just the two terms. I'll just take the sum of these two terms. Guys, what is this basically? Log of x plus y, log of x by y the whole square, because both have got the square. Don't you think it is 2 log x by y? Because this can be, second term can be written as x by y the whole square, because both x and y have got the square. So whole square becomes a multiplier. So this is what should be the answer for S2. Now put n is equal to 2 in the option. Which option will satisfy this? It is clearly option B. Guys, in option B, if I put n is equal to 2, outside 2 by 2 becomes 1, and inside the brackets you have 2 log x by y, the first term, and log of x by y. Don't you think it is the same as what we have got? It is the same. Therefore, it is option B. There's one last question. Let me just solve this question also of the question is the GP consists of 2n terms. How many terms? 2n terms, right? 2n terms is always even number of terms. It cannot be odd number of terms. So 2 terms definitely I cannot take. Minimum how many terms I should take? 4 terms. So 2n terms I'm going to take as 4 terms. What are those? 2, 4, 8 and 16. What have they said? Sum of odd place terms is S1. What are odd place terms is? 2 and 8. So S1 is equal to 2 plus 8, which is equal to 10. Sum of even place terms is S2. So what is that? 4 plus 16, which is 20. The question is the common ratio is what? Guys, if you take this sequence, what's the common ratio? Common ratio is equal to 2. It's a GP, right? Common ratio is 2. Now, by doing what with S1 and S2, you get common ratio as 2. Definitely S2 by S1. What is S2 by S1? 20 by 10 is 2 only. What's the common ratio here? 2 only. Therefore, it is option B, S2 by S1. What's the common ratio in terms of S2 and S1? It is S2 by S1. What is S2 here? Sum of the even place terms. S1 is sum of the odd place terms. Why did I take 4 terms? Why not 3 terms? Because it is 2n natural numbers they have said. Therefore, there should be even number of terms. I can't take 2 numbers because to say they are in GP or AP, I should take minimum 3 terms. I cannot take 3 terms because even number of terms, so I took 4 terms. Have you all understood? Guys, now that we have done with the target that is fixed for today, So hope you also have completed the target. If you have completed the target, please type sequence and series in the comment section. With this, I wish you all the best for the examination. Yashasvi Bhava. See you all for the next session. Till then, bye bye.